so much for speaking with me today to talk about the mental health benefits that you get from exercise while pregnant. You are how far along right now?
32 weeks.
32 weeks. So, you had been exercising before pregnancy, right?
That's
this
right.
is your second pregnancy, right?
That's right.
So what kind of exercises were you doing before your pregnancies?
Yeah, so before I'd be running, a mile or two a couple times a week. I also would do some lifting, light training sessions a couple times a week too. And occasionally I would try things like Orange Theory.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good place to start. I know you had mentioned doing Orange Theory, not only just for the physical benefits that you got from that kind of training, but what are some of the mental benefits that you got from that kind of training? Because I know it's higher intensity, so yeah, what is your experience from training that? So,
my normal life is really busy with work and everything, it just go, go, go. And so it was really nice to have that focused hour on just me and it felt like self-care, although, very strenuous hour in a group fitness environment. It really was good, focused me time, and it makes me feel like I'm taking care of myself by spending that hour working out.
Did you also feel the same way while running, or were there differences?
Yeah, I think there's a difference because, those group fitnesses are scheduled times, and, with running, you really have to have the motivation on your own to go out and do it.
That's a good point, yeah.
And so, just trying to keep to a weekly routine, and the difference I see in running versus a group class is running, you get that big runner's high because you yourself went out there and did it.
Yeah.
And then you feel so good afterwards about what you accomplished, and it just sets the mood for the rest of the day.
So describe the runner's high.
So it's funny, my husband's like, what is this runner's high? And doesn't believe in it at all. But I think after you have a really good long run where you're just, mentally focused on yourself that whole time, it's afterwards you feel so accomplished. Look what I just did.
Yeah.
You feel good physically about your body. You feel just better about your self-esteem, and how you're helping take care of yourself.
Right. So you mentioned that you also do a little strength training or weight training. What are some benefits, if any, do you get from that?
So I think that's a little different because the runner's high, I feel, affects my mental health more than sometimes the training, because the training, I have the long-term goal of I want to be stronger, I want to, lose some weight or look a certain way, which turns to, the physical side of it a little more for me than the mental health that I think I get benefits more from in running.
Yeah. Right. So we talked about how, when you exercise, you're feeling, your muscles, and you're just feeling better about yourself, and so that feeds into your mental state, right?
Yes, yeah. And one big thing during pregnancy, I think how it impacts, still trying to do some light training, obviously it gets harder as you get further along, but it helps with your anxiety of just the upcoming birth of your kid, again, it's that set aside time to just think about yourself and not everything else going on in the world, right? And it does help relieve some of the anxiety I have just, leading up to the end of the pregnancy.
So speaking of exercising while pregnant, you did so for your first pregnancy, correct?
Yep.
Up until how many weeks?
I think it was, into the third trimester, maybe. I quit around 30 to 32 weeks.
Right.
Is when it gets.
Were you able at all to reap those same benefits while pregnant?
Yeah.
And exercising?
In the beginning, I think more so because I was able to run more than, towards the end, and I still could get that runner's high and everything. Now where I'm at, just because it's, strenuous and hard physically to run anymore, I try to still get some of the same benefits from just doing long walks or still having some stretching sessions, and still trying to do what I can to have that time to.
And so essentially you're at a point where it's just taking that time to set aside for yourself.
Yes.
And to focus on you and keep your mind off other things. And it's still about relieving any anxious thoughts.
That's right. Yeah. I think at this point it's all about just relieving stress and anxiety. Maybe not from the runner's high, but
Right.
you know, from different types of
That's really
exercise.
cool. That's a cool. So, how long do you typically wait, or from your first pregnancy, how long did you wait until, and what were you doing to get back into it?
Yeah, so typically, you know, it's the 6 weeks time frame is what the doctor would recommend, right? Until you're like physically able to really go into it like strong. But before that, you know, of course, just as much walking as you can do, you know, some stretching and stuff, of course, to like get your body moving slowly, you know. But then once, you know, you get the doctor's approval, I would go right in.
You're all in.
Just start with light jogs, you know, like walk jogs kind of thing, and then like get back into
After
training.
your first pregnancy, and when you got back into working out, and you got the clear to like, all right, go for it, and you went for it, was it pretty immediate when you were starting to feel good again, or did it take some time to build back up to that?
It actually was pretty immediate. I think
Cool.
I was like really looking forward to it because there's that good like 2-3 months of time where I didn't get to have that runner's high and like feel good in that way. So it really came right back.
Yeah, even then, 2-3 months is a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for